Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm a pediatric physical therapist, and actually my own daughter became a W sitter. So believe me when I tell you, I know how challenging it is to correct W sitting and get your kids to stop W sitting. But in this video, I'm going to teach you the exact formula that I use to help stop my daughter's W sitting, as well as so many of the kids that I've worked with. So there are three parts to this formula, and all of them are equally important in order to have success eliminating W sitting. The first step in the formula is parent awareness. As parents, we have to first be aware that this is going to take time. This is a habit that your little one has formed, and it takes time to break a habit even for adults. And along those lines, since it is a habit for your little one, even after you started trying to correct the W sitting, if your little one keeps getting into a W sitting position, they're not doing it to make you upset. This is a habit. They're getting into the W sitting position without thinking about it. So we have to be patient and realize that it's going to take time. Parents also have to be aware that when the kids are W sitting for a long period of time, the muscles in their hips can get really tight. So switching out from W sitting into a crisscross may be really physically uncomfortable for them. So we have to do it really gradually. So if your little one's giving you resistance to switching around and going to a crisscross, it may be physically uncomfortable for them. So it's super important that every adult who's helping take care of your little one is aware that you're trying to correct the W sitting. So this includes both parents. So this is actually a thing in my own family where, as a physical therapist, seeing a kid W sitting is like nails on a chalkboard for me. I see it immediately, I want to correct it, and it's automatic. But with my wife, it's just not something that she noticed a whole lot. So she and my daughter would be playing, and my daughter would be W sitting and nothing would be done about it. I'm like, hey, fix the W sitting. She's like, I just didn't even notice. So it takes time for everyone to be on the same page and to be able to recognize it and correct it. And this also includes, though, anybody who, if your little one's at preschool or at daycare, to make sure that their teachers are aware that you're trying to correct the W sitting. Because in order to be successful, your little one has to be cued to get out of the W sitting position throughout their entire day. The second step to the formula is increasing our child's awareness to the W sitting. Toddlers don't realize that they're W sitting. It's just how they sit. They don't see that there's anything wrong with it. So what we have to do is to teach them that W sitting isn't something that we want to do, and then to provide them with a suitable alternative to the W sitting. So as parents, we need to figure out what position outside of W sitting that our little ones are going to be comfortable in, and then we can show that to them and then give them a verbal cue that will let them know to transition into that out of the W sitting position. So some of the common verbal cues that the parents that I work with have given their kids is to tell their little ones, okay, feet in front, or fix your legs, or just something that works and makes sense to your little ones. And it's crucial, absolutely crucial, that every adult who's helping care for your little one uses that exact same terminology, and that consistency is really, really important to your little one learning to gradually get out of the W sitting position. We want to get to a point where your little one can just hear that phrase that you use to cue him out of the W sitting, and then they'll naturally just transition into that position themselves. So if you see your little one sitting across the room and they're W sitting and you say, hey buddy, feet in front, then he'll go and he knows to fix his feet without you having to go over there and physically help him. And the third part to the formula is giving our little ones sitting alternatives to help them gradually transition out of W sitting towards a crisscross position. Now, some kids, if their hips haven't gotten tight at all, might be able to go from a W sitting position straight to a crisscross and feeling comfortable in that position, but that's often not the case. So here's a very gradual transition that I use with the kids who do experience some discomfort when they're outside of a W sitting position. So the first position outside of W sitting, which should provide the least amount of discomfort for your little ones, is going from W sitting to what's called long sitting, with the legs out in front like this. So when the kids are moving from a W sitting position into the long sitting, ideally we want to have the toes pointing upward. That puts their hips in a nice neutral position. Often the kids will like to sit with their toes turned inward. And when this is happening, the hips are also turned in, which is the position of W sitting. It's less of a strain on the hips in this position than it is in W sitting, but ideally, if we can get those toes pointing upward, we're starting to get our hips comfortable being in a more neutral, regular position. After long sitting, I like to progress towards what's called ring sitting, where the legs are out in front, the feet are closer together, and the knees are flopped out to the side. In this position now, the hips are starting to be turned outward. It's not as extreme of a turning out as it is in the ring sitting, but if you can get your little one comfortable in the ring sitting position, you're doing really, really well progressing towards the crisscross applesauce position. And then finally, you get to the holy grail of progressing towards the ring sitting to the crisscross applesauce. So this is tough for the kids, and again, it might have to be a very gradual transition throughout these positions. The keys to success with this are patience and consistency. I know it's tough, but you can do it. I know you can. Take care and have a great day.